Kripa Sindhya Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I humbly seek the blessings of the Vaishnavas who are just like wish-fulfilling trees and by whose mercy I hope and pray to be given the ability, the wisdom, the intelligence to be able to speak something that is truthful, beneficial, pleasing, not agitating to others, and strictly in accordance with the Vedic scriptures. So again, thank you all for joining. It is a great pleasure, a great honor for me to serve all of you halfway across the world like this. And I thank Bhagwan Narada Prabhu and Naradi for bringing us together and giving me an opportunity to share. Yes, I have been in the United States for 20 years. I came in 2001 and I stayed until 2021. And in the course of that, I had the opportunity to do many different services. I was in the place I was in, I was giving classes according to the temple president's desire. I was cooking for the deities once a week. I was also teaching the little children of the Gurukul dance, drama, singing, arts and craft. And that was very enlivening for me because I really like kids very much. And then I was also traveling to different parts of the US, giving seminars on different topics relating to relationships, marriage, also personal development, mental health. So I did, and that's how I came in touch with Bhagwan Narada and Naradi actually. I had traveled to San Antonio. I was visiting with my daughter. I asked, hey, where's the local center? And that's how I came in touch. They said, why don't you do some Grihastha seminars? Because I'm a PhD in marriage and family therapy and part of Grihastha Vision team, I was offering that also. And that's how we all got together. Then for some time in New Orleans, I was also distributing books and preaching on the streets during COVID. That was an adventure. And I took the opportunity because New Orleans didn't have such severe restrictions. As long as we didn't gather in large groups, they were okay with us walking along the bayou, which is like a river, small river. And people would come in the evenings. It was family time. And I would distribute books and try to find ways and means to connect with people basically, because I could see how distressed everyone was with the epidemic and how it was impacting people's lives. And I also saw that this is what Prabhupada is predicting, that demons will do all kinds of things to conquer and divide, to sow negativity, to sow, depression and anxiety and fear and control people. So I realized that this Krishna consciousness movement really is the only thing that is going to save the world. When Srila Prabhupada said, historians will note that the world was saved in its darkest hour by the Hare Krishnas, I realized how true this is. Because, but for the Hare Krishnas, who knows what is the truth? Who knows? You're not this body, your spirit soul. You have an eternal life. You're not meant to take birth and get diseases and die and go through this cycle again and again. You're supposed to live eternally, happily, joyfully in the kingdom of God, where there's ever increasing happiness and ever increasing love for Krishna. That's our real nature. The nature of the soul is Satchit Ananda. That means eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. But who's giving people this knowledge? So Srila Prabhupada in his mercy has come down from the spiritual world, and he wants all of us to take responsibility for spreading this movement everywhere and giving people the real knowledge. So I never had any position ever. I was never, temple commander, temple president, or even any little itty bitty thing on the committee or board or anything of this sort. But I always like to connect with people because I somehow have been gifted with that personality, I think, by Krishna in this lifetime, to just connect with people and somehow help them to come a little closer to Krishna. So that is exactly what Bhagwan Narada Prabhu was explaining, that taking opportunities to somehow or the other give people Krishna consciousness. So whenever I travel, I carry little packets of dry prasadam like nuts and raisins or some little something. and mantra cards sometimes, and then people, they like to know or attend an event. Supposing you tell them, hey, there was this big program and we had these freebies, and now I have some extras, I'm just handing them out, then they're willing to take. But if you say, hey, I'm a Hare Krishna, I have some prasada for you, people are just going to say, no, 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 I don't want that. So that's how I was happy to say, today is World Friendship Day for the Hare Krishnas, and we just had this little event. So I have some freebies. Would you like to take? Oh, really? Yeah, okay, fine, sure. And that's how you just give a little something of Krishna to them, and that might change their lives forever. Who knows? Maybe they'll look at the mantra card, they will see the Hare Krishna mantra, they will see the local temple address, they might try to come and visit. So wherever I travel, I try to grab the local temples, visiting cards or some little something, so that at airports, train stations, bus stations, metros, subways, wherever and however I can meet people, I can just hand it out and then say, why don't you come visit? We have a very nice program. We have a free festival every Sunday. We sing, dance, and we have a free feast, and it's just fun. I don't tell them anything more. I just tell them it's free feast, and I say there's singing and dancing, all of which is true. And so they think, oh wow, there's a free event and we can sing and dance. Let's maybe go. So just some little small, simple ways to bring him into the loving family that Srila Prabhupada wants. Why did Srila Prabhupada call it Sunday Love Feast? Because that's how he gave his love. That's how he began. He did not give big, heavy rules and regulations in the beginning. Srila Prabhupada simply gave love to everyone. He just captured everyone's heart with his love. All he did was get together all the devotees. He would have kirtan, he would have Krishna Katha, and he would lovingly prepare prasadam and distribute it to everyone just out of the goodness of his heart without charging for anything. And he would even clean up afterwards. For many months, this went on until one young fellow suddenly realized there's nobody with him. He's an old man. Maybe I should offer to help. So he said, Swamiji, can I help? And Prabhupada gave a big sigh of relief and said, I thought no one would ever ask. This is how it was in the early days. And then slowly, slowly, as people started getting more and more interested, listening to Kirtan, they were getting purified, taking prasadam, they were purified. And of course, in the association of the pure devotee of the Lord, they were getting more and more purified. They were getting enchanted by Prabhupada's demeanor, which was so regal, at the same time so soft, so loving, so precise. Prabhupada was very consistent. He never changed anything. What he said in the beginning, he said later, and then he kept saying the same thing. So that consistency, that conviction that this is the way to Krishna consciousness impressed a lot of the American youngsters, because they were very intelligent and they did really want the truth. They were fed up of the Vietnam War, they were fed up of the status quo, and they were looking for something different but meaningful and purposeful. And Prabhupada gave that to them. And if you talk to the early disciples, you can see how much Prabhupada impacted their lives and how they carry that spirit of Srila Prabhupada's mercy by being very, very kind, very compassionate, very merciful, very loving, very gentle, and at the same time, full of knowledge. They have so much knowledge, but they carry that sweet mood of Srila Prabhupada. So, in my own humble way, I never met Srila Prabhupada. I'm a grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. But our wonderful spiritual masters are carrying that legacy. And it is our duty to carry that legacy to the next generation. We may not be capable of doing very big things. At least I'm not. I'm just a tiny little ant. As I see myself, what am I? I'm just 1/10,000, the tip of a hair. That's how small I am. Huh? What can I do except try to simply repeat what my Guru Maharaj has given me in his mercy and try to be as faithful to the teachings, to the instructions that he has given me. That's all I can really do. Simply repeat the message as it is. And this is all that Srila Prabhupada expects. He says, just cram my purpose. Just speak what I have given to you in my books. And of course, following his example, his loving care of the devotees, his concern for them, his enormous attention to detail, his meticulous planning, and his great endeavor to spread Krishna consciousness through his books, through his travel, through his preaching, meeting so many heads of state, meeting a variety of people. He met politicians, he met philosophers, scientists, professors, heads of different types of clergy. He visited Franciscan monks. He visited, different places of worship and spoke the same loving message of Krishna consciousness everywhere according to time, place, and circumstance. So Srila Prabhupada was completely expert in this. He knew exactly what to say, how to say, when to say to each and every soul who came in touch with him so that they were benefited forever. Of course, we don't have that capacity. We are very small, but we can try in our own small, humble way to repeat the message that Prabhupada has given us according to our little understanding and help others understand, hey, you're not this body, you're eternal spirit soul. You're meant to be joyful all the time, not just some of the time, not just half the time or one fourth of the time, but all the time. Yes, this is true. To be joyful is to be normal. In fact, if we are morose, dull, unhappy, anxious, fearful, scared, stressed, this is all Maya because we have forgotten who we really are. The fearful state comes when we forget our real position and get into the bodily concept of life. And therefore, this great attempt by Srila Prabhupada to change the consciousness of this world is this Hare Krishna movement. And Prabhupada went to incredible lengths to give this mercy to the whole world at large. He was 70 years old. He was not a young man. When he left for the US, he was almost 70. He had his 70th birthday on board the Jaladuta, August, I think 17th it was that time. I'm not sure of the exact date, but his birthday was on the ship. That's how his 70th birthday happened. And Prabhupada had no money. He had only 40 rupees, which is useless in America. He had 3 volume sets, 200 sets of the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what gave him courage because his spiritual master had given him the order, you take this message of Krishna consciousness and go to the Western world and preach in English. This was the order given by his Guru Maharaj. And so that order was given in 1922 when Prabhupada first met his Gurudev at Ulta Danga Junction here, right here in Kolkata. It's just 4 hours away. In his rooms, actually on the terrace upstairs, Prabhupada's friend Narendra Nath Malik dragged him to meet, saying, come and meet this very saintly person. And Prabhupada said, I've seen enough saintly persons, I'm not interested. Because he had met many people because his father was very liberal, would call many sannyasis and so-called sadhus home. But Prabhupada could see they were not up to the standard. So he wasn't impressed. But Narendranath Malik said, no, you must meet him. He's a genuine saintly man. So they went upstairs, and as soon as they saw this very regal, very stately, very majestic, he was very tall. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was more than 6 feet tall, very imposing, very serene, and very regal looking personality. So immediately they offered their obeisances. And hardly they were sitting back on their seats when Maharaj said, you are educated young men. Why don't you preach the message of Lord Chaitanya in the English language all over the world? So Prabhupada was taken aback at the directness, the boldness of this statement. And at that time, he was a nationalist. He was a Gandhian. He said, this message of Lord Chaitanya, who will accept it? First, India must gain independence from the British. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, for 2 hours, he held them spellbound by explaining that Krishna consciousness cannot wait. And it is above all these geographical boundaries, political situations, which nation is up, which nation is down. It doesn't matter because it's on the level of the soul, the spiritual level. There's nothing to do with what is happening on the physical or material level. And it is the answer to all the problems. plaguing the human society today. So Prabhupada was spellbound and he was very impressed. And he turned to his friend afterwards and he said, the message of Lord Chaitanya is in the hands of a very saintly person. And much later he told his disciples, in my heart, I accepted him as my guru. So though it was not a formal initiation, in his heart, Srila Prabhupada accepted the words of this great saintly personality who has actually come from the spiritual world. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is a ray of Vishnu, personally prayed for by his father, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and he's actually, I think, Rati Manjari or Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. I don't remember. But he's one of the Manjaris. So is Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So these great personalities had actually predicted the appearance of Srila Prabhupada also. Yeah, so to come back to Srila Prabhupada's voyage, which was very, very difficult. He suffered from tremendous seasickness. He had 2 heart attacks, which was so intolerably painful that he thought if he gets a 3rd attack, he will die. So he prayed to Krishna and he got a dream in which Krishna and all his incarnations were rowing a boat in which he was and assuring him that he would be safely crossing the Atlantic and come to America. And after that, the crossing became very peaceful. And the captain's wife, Captain Arun Pandya, was the captain of that ship. She said to him, Swamiji, I have never seen such a calm Atlantic crossing in my life. Maybe you should come with us more often. Of course, Krishna made that arrangement so that his pure devotee could safely go through and reach the shores of America. And so Prabhupada reached Boston. He had no money. He knew no one. He had a sponsor. He had a letter of sponsorship by Gopal Agarwal. And that's the only letter he had. So then finally, before disembarking, he told the captain, Captain Pandya, I don't have a single dollar. Will you please buy my Bhagavatam? See, this is Prabhupada's innocence as well as complete and utter dependence on Krishna. So Captain Pandya readily bought the books. He said, how much, Swamiji? And Srila Prabhupada said, $16. So Captain Arun Pandya gave him $20. And that was the first money he ever got by the sale of his books in America. He disembarked. And first the ship docked at Boston Harbor and then it went on to New York. And Prabhupada, when he got off, he says, I didn't know whether to turn right. I didn't know whether to turn left. All he had was his little briefcase, his umbrella, his gear, whatever he was wearing, little money in his pocket and his Bhagavatam sets. That's all he had. So finally, he made his way to Butler, Pennsylvania, which was the home of Sally and Gopal Agarwal. And he had to tolerate so much. Sally Agarwal was an American. She didn't know anything about Indian way of living and what to speak of keeping a sadhu in the home. Prabhupada had to keep his food along with meat and fish and eggs and whatnot in the fridge. And poor Sally would try to apologize and he would say, oh, don't mind, don't mind. And he was so tolerant. But he realized this is a very small place. There's very little preaching opportunity. So he did make some speeches at the local YMCA and so on, but he made his way to New York. Again, not knowing anyone, not knowing anything, having no connections, he made his way to New York. And of course, the rest is history. For a year, Prabhupada struggled in the cold winter of New York. Again, very, very difficult times. His typewriter was stolen, his dictaphone was stolen, his room was busted into. He had to leave that place, go to another place. There was a drug-crazed addict with him. He had to leave that place. And thankfully, Mukundam Goswami, by that time, 2 or 3 disciples had come together, Guru Das and all arranged for a room. And that is how 26 2nd Avenue, which is actually the birthplace of the Hare Krishna movement, because that is where Prabhupada incorporated ISKCON. It happens to be my birthday. That's how I'm a fanatic of ISKCON. 13th of July, 1966, Srila Prabhupada signed the International Society of Krishna Consciousness into existence, and he wrote out the 7 purposes of ISKCON. Now I'm going to share with you the 7 purposes of ISKCON because they are so profound and there is so much we have to learn as well as do by keeping those 7 purposes in mind. So let me share my screen with you. And that way you will get to see how Srila Prabhupada was thinking, not just for that brief time in New York, but for the next 10,000 years. Srila Prabhupada's vision was very deep, very broad, and very long thinking. So, Bhagwan Narada Prabhu, if you can kindly make me the host for sharing. Oh, you have already. Okay, great. So, our mission, 7 purposes of ISKCON. Okay, who would like to read one purpose at a time? I need 7 volunteers. Or 3 people, again, reading, whatever you choose. Who would like to read the first purpose?
To systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world.
Okay, let's stop and talk about that. So you see, when Srila Prabhupada decided that this is what he is going to do, he circled the globe 14 times in 12 years. From the age of 70 to 82, when he finally left this world to go to another place to preach Krishna consciousness. In those 12 years, he circled the globe 14 times, giving Krishna consciousness to everyone. And I'll tell you why this has become successful. You see, I was in Dublin, Ireland, when the Ukraine-Russia war broke out and the Ukrainians were fleeing. Many Ukrainians had come to Dublin, and some of them in tears, they were telling me how Prabhupada has made us one family. At every point, devotees were there to help them, giving them food, shelter, clothing, and finally housing them and making sure they're all right. And they said, Prabhupada has made us one family. I was so moved when I saw that, and I sang the Prabhupada family song, and I'm going to sing it for you also at the end of this presentation. But this is what Prabhupada has done. He has achieved what the United Nations has not achieved. He has made us one family because we understand we are really one family, not just humans, but cats, dogs, mice, butterflies, bees, trees. Every living creature is a child of God. So therefore, devotees do not harm or hurt any creature because they understand this soul is also a child of God and deserves to live. So that is why we don't indulge in all these horrible things which other people do because they are in ignorance. So to achieve real unity and peace in the world. So therefore, devotee doesn't think, oh, this is a Pakistani, Indians and Pakistanis have a long tradition of animosity ever since the British divided us. But as devotees, we don't care. Our devotees have got to Pakistan and preached. Pakistanis have come and become Hare Krishnas. Same with Afghanistan, Iran. The Hindu-Muslim rivalry doesn't exist. In America, Srila Prabhupada made whites and blacks into Hare Krishnas. And there was no question of any enmity anymore because everyone realized, hey, we are not these bodies. Otherwise, traditionally in America, there's tremendous racial discrimination even today. And there's prejudice and hatred, and even sometimes unmentionable things happen to the Black people because of this prejudice. But Prabhupada changed all that. Like this, in every part of the world, he has changed people's hearts forever. Once you become a Hare Krishna, you can never go back to your old ways of thinking and you change into a better person. And this is what Prabhupada has achieved. He has checked the imbalance of values in life. He has educated all people in the techniques of spiritual life, and he has achieved real unity and peace in the world. Haribo! This is a great achievement by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, number 2. Come on, someone read.
I'll read. To propagate a consciousness of Krishna gods as it revealed in the great scriptures of India, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, these books written in Sanskrit are very deep, very esoteric, and very difficult to understand, even for well-versed Sanskrit scholars who have grown up in Vedic culture. Even for Indians, it is very difficult. So what Prabhupada has done is miraculous. He meditated very deeply on all the commentations of different acharyas, and in the dead of night, he sacrificed his sleep to stay up, meditate on how best to present this message in simple English language so that the Western mind can accept it, understand it, appreciate it, and apply it. This is a great miracle. No one has ever done this before. Krishna consciousness had never left the shores of India. People would travel from the Western world and even from China, even from Europe, people would come to India to learn this, but nobody had ever gone taking this knowledge to the Western world. And this is the great miracle that Srila Prabhupada has achieved by giving this in the Western language, in English first, and now it has been translated into more than, I think, 80 languages of the world and has gone out to every part of the globe and given this great knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita all over the world, changing the world forever. One pure devotee, and he has changed the world by giving this consciousness of Krishna through the revealed scriptures. Okay, number 3.
I can read. To bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna. The prime entity thus developing the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead, Krishna.
Very good. Thank you. Yes. See, this is the truth in every tradition. It is not just that only Hare Krishnas know this truth. Even in the Christian tradition, it is there that love thy neighbor as thyself. Love the Lord thy God with all thy strength, all thy heart, all thy might. And have compassion for every living entity. Saint Francis of Assisi, he was so God conscious that he would say, brother tree, sister river, highly God conscious. He knew that every creature, and he was very compassionate towards the animals. He never killed animals for food or anything like that. So, but this understanding that each soul is part and parcel of Krishna, Srila Prabhupada explained, and therefore the Hare Krishna know that every soul belongs to Krishna. Even a child in the Krishna consciousness movement will not hurt even an ant. And this is what children do. They stamp on every creature, right? Because they take special delight in crushing small insects and things like that. But not the Hare Krishnas, because this is the truth that Prabhupada has given to us. And therefore, we respect everybody as part and parcel of God. So we have no enmity with anyone. Anywhere a devotee goes, he is only interested in giving Krishna to others. He doesn't want to exploit, manipulate, hurt, harm, and lord over others. He wants to serve everyone. This is another miracle Prabhupada has achieved. Number 4.
To teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of God as revealed in the teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Haribol! And this is what we are all about, because how will the world get purified? By the holy names of God, Krishna. Therefore, we are known as this Hare Krishna movement, because this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the sound vibration that is coming from the spiritual world in order to purify and cleanse and completely change this whole world into Vaikuntha. Srila Prabhupada said, even if 1% of the world becomes Krishna conscious, the whole world will change into Vaikuntha. So therefore, devotees are going everywhere, chanting the holy names, doing Harinam Sankirtan, because they're giving the mercy of the Lord to people. And people are getting moved by this Harinam Sankirtan. One woman, my Guru Maharaj relates, when the Harinam was going on in UK, she just came running up and saying, what are you guys singing? What are you guys singing? I cannot stop crying. I'm so moved by what you all are singing. Because the soul is getting touched by the holy name. The soul is responding to the names of God. This is universal. Huh? So this is the power of the holy name, and devotees are so kind, so merciful. They don't care how sinful the people are, how degraded they are, how bad is the neighborhood, how they don't deserve anything. Still the devotees go and give the mercy of Krishna's love in the form of the holy names, because the Harinam Sankirtan is non-different from the rasa dance of Krishna. So Krishna is giving the highest, the greatest love. Golokera Prema Dhan Harinam Sankirtan is giving the highest in the form of this Harinam Sankirtan. And this is what our Hare Krishna movement is about, because Lord Chaitanya has come and he is so merciful. He doesn't care whether you're qualified, unqualified, young, old, rich, poor, educated, uneducated, white, black, male, female, Indian, Parsi, Jain, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim. He doesn't care. He doesn't see your qualifications or disqualifications. Criminals, murderers, thieves, everyone is being given a chance to purify their lives and attain the highest perfection of life simply by the chanting of the holy name. Who can be more merciful than Lord Chaitanya? And Srila Prabhupada is the embodiment of that mercy. He is the Senapati Bhakta, that means the commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya's army. And he's giving this congregational chanting of the holy name, teaching us to become happy and blissful and make others also happy and blissful. Number 5.
To erect for the members and for society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna.
Yes, and Srila Prabhupada didn't just make a holy place, he made many holy places all over the world in the form of these gorgeous temples with gorgeous deities and gorgeous opulent deity worship. Why? So that the common man will get attracted to come and see the beautiful form of the Lord, to inhale the fragrance of incense that is being offered, finally to inhale the fragrance of the food that is being offered. I mean, not during the time, but afterwards, and taste this wonderful Krishna Prasadam, to take part in this wonderful ritual of offering with love and devotion to Krishna all these things, and then to partake of it in the form of a love feast. So transcendental pastimes of the Lord are happening on the altar. We cannot see them, but this every temple is like an oasis in the desert. Prabhupada said, these are the embassies of the spiritual world. They are here to call you back to the spiritual world and remind you that there is a place where there's perfect peace and happiness. And that's with Krishna. Okay, number 6. Okay, I'll read number 6. Yeah, to bring the members closer together for the purpose of teaching a simpler, natural way of life. So today our lives are so complicated by so many unnecessities. Prabhupada said these are the unnecessities of life. Actually, all we need is a place to live, some food to eat, clean water, clean air, clean clothes, and a pure and clean lifestyle. This has been snatched away from us by the demons. They have made our lives so complicated and so difficult to live. And just for food, clothing, medicine, education, they make us work so hard. 12 hours, 14 hours a day, just gone to get the bare necessities of life. Even the animals don't do like this. So we have become worse than animals even. We have complicated our lives, and then worse, we are destroying our habitat. We are destroying our environment with this unsustainable lifestyle. By 2050, there's going to be more plastic than fish in the ocean. We are destroying our marine life. We are destroying our coastline. We are destroying the water, air, land, chemical fertilizer, you name it. The demons are destroying everything within sight. Cutting trees, right, left, center, construction everywhere. And then what? We need trees to breathe. Until the trees give out oxygen, we are not going to get oxygen. And until we get this, we are just going to go on this pillaging rampage and destroy our own habitat. So Prabhupada, realizing what was going to happen to devotees, wants us to have calm communities where a simple way of life is being practiced and taught to others. And this is happening in different parts of the world. Very successful farm communities are coming up. Prabhupada said city temples should have a farm sister temple in the farm, in the countryside, where grihasthas live. Because preachers are meant to travel and preach. So the sannyasis, brahmacharis live in the cities, preach Krishna consciousness, but grihasthas should live in the farm and raise their children in Krishna consciousness, very nicely growing in nature, because nature is in the mode of goodness. Keeping cows, growing food, so that children can live happily, peacefully, securely, safely, grow up loving mother cow, taking care of mother cow, and grow up understanding this simple, natural way of life is real life. And this is really real life. This fast-paced, crazy, hectic, soul-killing civilization has given us nothing but more and more cancers at younger and younger ages. Now, cancers are afflicting much younger populations than before. And this is all this crazy lifestyle. Mental health problems have shot through the roof, especially after COVID. So we are just going crazy. We're just going nuts doing nonsense. And Prabhupada wants us to have a better way of life. Number 7.
With a view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes, to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other writings.
Yes. Prabhupada said this was the order his Guru Maharaj gave him. If you ever get money, print books. So Prabhupada took that very seriously. With great difficulty, he started Back to Godhead magazine when it was wartime. It was wartime in India. British had waged war. The World War was actually going on. So newsprint was very difficult to get. It was not easy to get newsprint. But because the government was thinking, oh, they will publish anti-war propaganda, Prabhupada was not interested in doing that. He wanted to use it for spiritual literature, but it was so difficult to get it. So finally, when he would get that newsprint, he would write the articles, edit them, proofread them, go to the publisher, print them out, and then distribute them from tea stall to tea stall, selling his newsletter for just few paise, nothing practically. And then one gentleman told him, Swamiji, you're taking so much trouble to distribute these newsletters. People will just read and they will just throw it. Why don't you publish books? Again, spiritual master's order flashed into Prabhupada's mind and he said, yes, this is what I must do. And he started thinking about writing books. The first book he wrote was Easy Journey to Other Planets. And then finally, when he retired to the Radha Damodar temple, he sat down to make his famous translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, which he finally came with to America. And then he just went on. Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So many wonderful books have flowed from Srila Prabhupada's lotus hand. And Prabhupada would say, I have not written them. Krishna has dictated and I have just written. So that's why he would read his own books. And Prabhupada would always say, read my books, please read my books. My only complaint against my disciple is that they do not read my books. So we must read Srila Prabhupada's books and we must distribute this knowledge to others. This is one of the most successful ways to spread Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada wants us to give this knowledge to others by distributing books, distributing articles, writing articles ourselves, and giving it to others. So we will stop here. I wanted to end at exactly 45 minutes, giving us 15 minutes for discussion, which is the standard format. So we will end at this point. I offer my obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and we can open up for discussion, questions, comments, realizations, corrections. I'm open to hearing from you. Hare Krishna.
I like what you said about, like, I'm paraphrasing here, that once you kind of come in contact with Krishna consciousness, you can't go back. You know, once we get a taste for it. And I was looking at some class the other day. I forget who it was. I think it was a class by Gaur Govinda Swami. Sometimes I scroll into the comments to see what people are thinking. It was either that or I think it might have been a Prabhupada class. And there was one man that said, you know, it was my own fault for leaving the movement years and years ago, and I regret it every day. And I feel so bad. He was just lamenting about leaving and not being around devotees, not having association. And then it kind of trickled and it created a long thread of comments and replies saying, well, I left it too, and I feel bad, and I haven't been around devotees, and there's nothing like it. And then somebody else said, I miss the association. It was all just going, and I'd never seen anything like that on YouTube. Usually it's the opposite, somebody criticizing or something. And I thought, wow, if you look at this 7 purposes of ISKCON, Prabhupada says the word members, really taking care of the members, once people have joined. Of course, we go out, we meet people, we bring them in. But there's so many people that they fall away for whatever reason. Maybe they feel pressured or they did too much too soon instead of working in gradually, or they just had some mistake or whatever it may be. But we have to create enough of an environment to where they don't feel embarrassed or guilty if they were to come back or if we reach out. And we should also have some appreciation and gratitude. When I read that, I was like, wow, I feel so protected and fortunate because it's by Krishna's blessing that we're being allowed to practice and we're being allowed to do some little menial service. We're not qualified. So just a few thoughts there on how fortunate we are. Like you said at the beginning of the call, it's just Prabhupada's mercy, how fortunate we are just to come together, even if it's 4 or 5 of us or 10 of us or 20 of us, and to just remind one another. So I appreciate that point.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, we have to be so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for giving us ISKCON, for giving us association of devotees, because this is our real family. This is our real family. There is no other family because, our biological families are there, but that's all. They're just there. Only the devotees can understand each other. Only the devotees can give the loving encouragement we need when we are down, and we can give them the same when they need it. We understand each other, and we're all here for only one thing: to become Krishna conscious, to go back to Krishna. We are united in purpose. We may have our differences, we may have our moods, we may have our ups and downs, but we know that every devotee ultimately wants to become Krishna conscious. There's no other motive. And Prabhupada has made us into one family. So this is Krishna's family. This is Prabhupada's family. I'm going to sing Prabhupada's family song for you. Would you like that? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You must sing along with me, okay? All right. Here we go. Prabhupada family song. We are happy people all united in ISKCON.
We are happy people united in ISKCON.
We belong to one family.
We belong to one family.
Prabhupada wants us all to live in unity.
Prabhupada wants us all to live in unity.
In spite of every caste and creed.
In spite of every caste and creed.
From the north and from the south and from the east and west.
From the north and from the south and from the east and west.
He has brought us all together.
He has all brought us all together.
Yes, we are delighted
Yes, we are delighted
that we are united
that we are united
into one big family.
into one big family.
Yes, we are delighted
Yes, we are delighted
that we are united
that we are united
into one big family.
into one big family.
Animal! Give yourselves a big hand. Good job. Yes, this is the miracle that Prabhupada has done. So therefore, we want to be very, very careful of this precious legacy and become the best version of ourselves as a pay. We can never repay Prabhupada. We can never repay Prabhupada. But at least we can pay it forward out of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. We can at least do some little thing to become better devotees ourselves so that we can be more effective instruments in Krishna's hands for spreading Krishna consciousness. At least this much we must try for. Don't you think? Thank you for singing Sridevi Sundari. All of you. Thank you all for singing. Appreciate it.
I've never heard that song. Where is that from?
Oh, it's actually a song I learned in school.
Aw.
I Prabhupadized it for you all. It's a school song. School can sing it. But I changed the words. I stole the tune and I changed the words.
Oh, cute. Hmm.
Any other questions or comments, reflections, anybody?
I have reflection. I think Sridevi Mataji just brings fun, and I just want to offer my most humblest obeisances to you. And I just wanted to, I remember when I met you first time, maybe it was a year ago, and you still have a special place in my heart. You're just a wonderful woman. And I just wanted to appreciate your singing, and it makes it so fun. We never laughed on the call like that ever, right? So, and I have a little personal question. You mentioned in the beginning that you still doing marriage counseling. Are you still counseling people? What's or you just do devotion without any other activities? Just
No, that is my
Okay.
devotional service also, because my
Mm.
Gurudev has said, make your profession your service. So we use all, whatever our skills, our talents, our abilities, we use it in service for the devotees. So I use my profession to serve the devotees. For example, I'm also a medical doctor. So some of the parents here bring their child to me for, various ailments. So I treat them. So I'm continuing to offer counseling, therapy online to those who are far away. And those who live here, they come to me here and see me in person. So both things I do offer. It's
Mm.
also devotional service. We can make our profession devotional service.
And if somebody would want to use your services, we would just have to reach you by your personal phone, or you have a website, or
I can share my professional pamphlet with you.
yes.
You can contact me via WhatsApp. I can also share my email so that you can write to me, because I can send you all my, professional details. You can look at my professional pamphlet and see if that interests you. But if you really want to see me, then I would like you to fill out my clinical forms, because that's a medical legal requirement, and it also helps me to understand what you're trying to achieve in therapy, what are the issues and challenges you're facing. And so that would be the next step. I would request you to fill out my clinical forms. First, go through everything, go through my background, see if you like the way I do therapy, then sign everything, send it back to me, and then I would be giving an appointment. That's the normal procedure that I follow.
Thank you so much. If you would share with us, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there will be people interested.
Yeah,
Especially, it's very hard to find devotee. Like sometimes you want to ask for help, but you don't want to go to mundane doctors or mundane psychotherapists, because they will not understand where like devotee comes from and challenges that we face in, or
right,
So
right.
that's a very big help, I think, for if somebody would be interested in that.
Sure. I will share my WhatsApp number also, but WhatsApp I prefer just for the preliminary, first contact, because too much information on WhatsApp is not good. I prefer to send it by email, but for initial contact, WhatsApp is fine. And then I send all the rest by email. So that is, I'm sorry, it should be +91. because that's the country code now for India. So you'll have to put +91 629 692 890. Yeah, that's the way it should be written. I'm sorry. It won't work without that plus sign. So that's my phone number as well as email. And you're welcome to, I do have your WhatsApp, I believe, Svetlana.
Yes, I have you on
Say you-
WhatsApp. So I have your number. I was just
Yeah.
wanted to find out more about your professional, services.
I
Mhm.
understand.
Thank
Sure.
you. Thank you for letting us know about this.
I'll just turn off that phone 1 second. Yeah, we make our profession our devotional service. That's all. In fact, I did my PhD because my Guru Maharaj wanted me to do it. I was already an MD and I came to America. I signed up for my PhD and then I met devotees. After the meeting the devotees, I was ready to chuck my PhD out the window. I'm joining the temple. I don't want anything else. I'll wash the pots, but let me be here at your lotus feet. What is the point reading all this nonsense? And Guru Maharaj said, no, 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 I don't think so. He said, Krishna has brought you here. I mean, he just knew that, this is what Krishna wants me to do. So he just said, I think you should complete it. It will be helpful in the future to help devotees. So I finally did it under his blessings, and my thesis, my PhD thesis research topic was parenting experiences of the Hare Krishnas of North America. And I interviewed parents who were raising their children in Krishna consciousness in North America to understand their challenges. Very interesting experience.
Okay, I think I need to come and see you. I'm gonna go.
Sorry?
Oh, I was just laughing because I have a child and I'm having challenges parenting in North America.
Yeah.
Nice to hear
Yeah.
that's your specialty.
It's definitely, see, the first few generations are like pioneers, we are hacking our way through the brambles. It's going to be easier for the future generations, but we are, like the first few generations to do all this hard work of making a new path that others will follow. So it's not easy. It's certainly not easy. And we need all the help we can get. Grihastha Vision team has, I don't know if you've come across our website, Sridevi Sundari.
Well, I'm familiar with the Grihastha Vision team. Mhm.
Okay. So our website has a lot of articles and a lot of useful tips. You can even send anonymous questions.
Oh, nice.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great. I will definitely look into it.
sure. Naradi is here. Finally, I get darshan of Naradi. Haribol. Wearing your favorite color, purple. It's mine too. Jagannath. Jai Jagannath.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Good to see you.
Haribol. My humble obeisances to you. Jai
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada. Jai Guru Maharaj.
Jai. I like the point that you made, that you just carry things with you with the intention of giving them to others. And sometimes that's half the battle. You need to leave the house with a few books, with a few flyers, and then you'll have that in the back of your mind when you meet people.
Right, right. And you know what? People are so caught up with their own problems, so difficulties. They don't have time to really think, oh, why this person gave me. They're just happy. Okay, I'm getting something. That's it. They don't, sometimes we feel, oh, how can I talk to this person? Oh, I feel shy. What will they think? They have no time to think anything. Just they're just happy to get something.
Yeah.
And you go on, they go on, and they've got some mercy. That's all. Because sometimes my god sisters ask me how you can talk to people like this, how you can just go and just say something to people like this. I say, what does it matter? They're not going to remember me after the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm gone out of their lives forever. It's just that passing opportunity I'm getting. If through that some soul is going to get help, why not? And if they want to think this woman is nuts, this woman is crazy, this woman, let them think. So what? What difference does it make what they think? I said, don't worry what they think. You worry that Krishna will be happy if you do this. That's all we need to worry about. The rest, Krishna will take care. So she said, now I can understand. So I'm just sharing that people don't have time to think about us. They're too caught up in their own problems.
It's true.
So we shouldn't worry what they'll think, what they'll think, what they'll think. They'll think so many things. We should worry what Krishna is thinking.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else before we close the session? Have anything they want to share, add? I guess not, so we'll go ahead and close here. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Sridevi, for your time. I guess it's probably about 8:30 there, so that's good time.
Yes, good time.
And if you're
Thank
ever,
you.
if anybody's ever in Mayapur, they can give Sridevi a call.
Yes.
She'll be there. You can hang out
I'll
with
be
her.
happy. Yes, I'll be very happy to meet you. Please come.
Wonderful. All right, thank you so much. We'll have it recorded and I'll post it soon. Y'all have a good weekend and happy Balaram Purnima on Monday over there in Mayapur as well.
Oh my gosh, I never said anything about Balaram
You want to
Purnima.
say something now, shortly?
Okay.
2 minutes?
Okay, 2 minutes. So, Balaram Purnima, who is Lord Balaram? Balaram is the elder brother of Krishna, and he came to the womb of Devaki. He was actually the 7th child. But he was forcibly attracted to the womb of Rohini by the arrangement of Krishna, who said to Yogamaya that he should be transferred to the womb of Rohini so that it seems as though she had a miscarriage. So that's how Balaram was born to Rohini, who was also another wife of Vasudeva. She was in Gokul and Balaram took birth. And Srila Prabhupada said, we get Bala or strength from Balaram because he's very strong. So Srila Prabhupada said the aim of life is not to become stout and fat and strong physically, but to become strong spiritually. And we get that spiritual strength from Balaram, who is Adi Guru. He is the embodiment, he is the source of the mercy of the spiritual master. Now, in our time, it is Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is non-different from Lord Balaram, and he is very, very merciful to the fallen souls. So merciful that he forgave the 2 sinners, Jagai and Madhai, and gave them love of God. That's how merciful he is. Even though they attacked him and caused his head to bleed by throwing a piece of broken pot at his head. That's how merciful the Lord is. He could have finished them. He could have finished them. But he said, so even though you have thrown a stone at me, you think I will not give you love of God? I will still give you love of God. This is how merciful he is. But Lord Chaitanya was very angry. He came there with the Sudarshan Chakra to finish them. And then seeing that fierce form of the Lord, Madai fell at his feet, begged his pardon, and the Lord forgave them, and they became great Vaishnavas. They became really great Vaishnavas. The rest of their lives, they were simply serving the Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas were very, disgusted. Sometimes they would get cursed. Sometimes people would spit on them. People would say, oh, now you become Vaishnav, because they were so angry at all the things they had done. But Jagai and Madhai simply tolerated everything and continued to serve the devotees and even wash their clothes on the washing ghats like this, serving. They became great Vaishnavas. This is Lord Nityananda's mercy, and Srila Prabhupada says Lord Nityananda's mercy is unimaginable, and he is non-different from Balaram. In this age, Brajendra Nandana J, Sachi Sutta Hoilo J, Balaram Hoilo Nitai. So Balaram has come as Lord Nityananda, the most merciful, and Lord Gauranga and Lord Nityananda want to change the whole world into Vaikuntha. Parama Karuna Bahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Saba Avatara Sarashiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Kevala Ananda Kanda Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrida Vishwasa Kori. What does that mean? These 2 transcendental brothers, they have come because they are the most merciful manifestation of God, and they are simply giving Ananda. They're simply spreading happiness everywhere. And so, hold tight to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda because he is very merciful and he gives us love of God by giving us the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. How will we get Lord Chaitanya's mercy? By getting Lord Nityananda's mercy. How will we get Lord Nityananda's mercy? By getting Srila Prabhupada's mercy. How will we get Srila Prabhupada's mercy? By getting our Gurudev's mercy. And how will we get our Gurudev's mercy? By following the instructions and pleasing our spiritual masters. Haribol!
Thank you for sharing. That's amazing. Also, I wanted to mention that Sridevi, if you haven't seen, she's going to give a talk on September 7th, right? You have a Zoom, that flyer, so I can share that again with everybody.
Yes,
All right.
please do. I
And
will
then-
be happy to talk with everyone.
Hopefully you can come back and you have another talk if you're free. I know you did Radhastami last year, but maybe again on one of these Saturdays. It works for you this time?
Yes, that's
Okay.
fine. We can
Okay.
figure out something. Yeah. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Thank you so much.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.